Happy Wednesday, everybody. It's Addie Broyles, the food writer for the Austin American-Statesman and Austin360.com. And I'm here for a live stream on Wednesdays like I do, where I tell you about the food section, any food news that's going on. We just do a little chit chat. So today, I just have a copy of the paper. Here it is. Da-da-da-da. We have a whole story. Hi, first viewer. I wonder who you are. I love, you can see how many people are watching up in the corner. We have a story today from a freelancer. Nelly Ramirez is a longtime friend of mine from the food world. She's Annalie on Twitter, and she always contributes to Austin360 Cooks. Hey, Dan Broyles, what's up, Dad? Nelly wrote a story for us about batch cooking. She often puts photos on Instagram and puts hashtag Austin360 Cooks, and so I'm always seeing what she's cooking. And I reached out a little while ago, and I was like, hey Nelly, you're already doing all this cooking at home. I know that you have a food blog, you already write. Would you like to write for us? So she wrote a story about cooking black beans and how you can cook a mega pot of black beans on a Sunday and then eat them all week long. She gave us several different recipes for different stews and things to cook with them. Very cool. We also, remember last week we talked about queso? This week you can find all of my tips on queso making and a recipe for basically, you know, let me see if I can show you this one. The diner style queso that we all know and love. Everybody loves that. So anyway, all kinds of fun stuff in the food section. Hope you pick up a copy. I was at ACL last weekend for I Love You So Much, which is our podcast. And if you go to, I think it's austin360.com/loveaustin360, it will love your black beans. Leo, you'll tell me what you do with your black beans in the comments below. So we were out there, me and Tali Mosley and Omar Gayaga, my co-host for the podcast, and we were doing little dispatch segments. So we came up with 3 different segments over the course of the ACL festival, and you can find those in, you know, wherever you get your podcasts. Essentially, just go and search for I Love You So Much, and it should say an Austin360 podcast. And we have new episodes that drop every Friday. We don't have one this Friday, though, because we're taking a break from ACL. But we have all kinds of cool episodes coming out this month, so please stay tuned. Okay, gave your recipe to Chipotle. You don't like Chipotle's black beans, Cindy? Okay, so I got new Pioneer Woman cookbook. Excited about that. I have a whole box of cookbooks. Look at this. Whole box of cookbooks to unpack. Look at all those cookbooks. Oh my gosh, so many cookbooks. Last week I had the coolest opportunity to go and give away cookbooks at the Austin Food and Wine Alliance has a culinary arts career conference. Hey Joy. So every year they have culinary students from around Central Texas come to the Palmer Events Center. And so what I did was, see how I have like dozens and dozens of cookbooks. Every week I get like a dozen cookbooks, and we've been collecting cookbooks. Readers have been dropping them off. And so if you were a reader and you dropped off cookbooks at the Statesman sometime in the past year, and we're talking like probably 100 readers have dropped off cookbooks. We had like 3,000 cookbooks, I'm guessing. I brought 500 of them over to the Palmer Events Center last week, and we got to give away cookbooks to every student who came to that conference. And it was so rewarding. If you go to Instagram, if you go to Broyles A on Instagram, you can see a gallery of pictures I put together of some of the students. I think we'll probably run that in print here pretty soon too. But I talked to literally hundreds of students who were so excited to get pretty much like their first cookbook. So if you guys have cookbooks, I've decided that I do want to continue collecting cookbooks. So if you have cookbooks, get a little stash, put them in a little, you know, brown paper bag or reusable grocery sack or a box. And during December, I'm going to have you drop them off at the paper. And so all of December, we'll collect cookbooks. I might extend it into January too. And then we'll make a new donation effort next year to either the high school culinary students, or if you have a nonprofit where you could use some cookbooks. You know, I'm even interested in seeing if we can get some cookbooks over to some hurricane victims who maybe might have lost all of theirs. See, there's all kinds of ideas for cookbook swaps here. So don't throw your cookbooks away, hold on to them, and we will collect them at the end of the year, early next year. Okay, so one thing I blogged about today is something that, you know, I give a lot of love to HEB, so I guess it's okay if occasionally I have some criticisms. This is their new meal kit. It's empty, obviously, now. But meal kits, as you know, are a huge business. $5 billion, I actually found out. $5 billion. That's a lot. I mean, the food industry is many, many billions more than that. And HEB even, you know, they make a lot of money. However, meal kits, a lot of groceries are really concerned about how meal kits are changing how customers are shopping, because I know that there's certainly some people, maybe even some people here who are watching, who they either eat out at a restaurant or they will occasionally buy a meal kit, and that grocery stores are worried that if the meal kit company pretty much gets all of that grocery business, that their grocery sales will go down. So you're seeing Kroger's and Safeways and, you know, all the grocery stores are coming up with meal kits, and this is the latest one from HEB. They're calling it Meal Simple Simply Prep, chef-inspired meals in minutes, and they had about five, six, 7 options. They had a couple salmon, chicken. This was a beef stroganoff. I don't know why I picked beef stroganoff. I was craving comfort food, I guess. I did not realize, well, I should have read carefully. That says cooked egg noodles. This became an issue because when I got this little kit home, well, here, let me talk about the good stuff. First of all, the beef, it's a 9-ounce portion. It was already sliced. So to already have your beef cut up was actually, that did save me time. And, you know, a 9-ounce portion is actually perfect for 2 servings. Usually beef or other kinds of meat are sold in 1-pound packages. A half-pound of meat is too much for one person. I'm not necessarily feeding for people to, you know, basically I like the idea of having smaller portions of meat. I think that's helpful for the consumer, helpful for the producers, blah, 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 blah. So it also has just a small portion of green beans, and it had a portion of the stroganoff sauce. It had a little bit of shaved Parmesan and red pepper for like garnish. Didn't have any complaints about any of that. The stroganoff sauce kind of tasted like maybe you opened up a can to pour it out, but it's stroganoff. What do you expect? That's what I expect. I want that kind of creamy comfort food. This cooked egg noodle business, though, pretty much sank the whole kit. I mean, it's a $16 kit, and I basically pulled out this bag of noodles, and I'm realizing that they're kind of mushy, you know, mushy and squishy. You can feel it in the package. I opened it up. I take a little bite of the pasta, and I'm just like, this is... It wasn't just cooked, it felt like it had been tossed in something to maybe like keep it from spoiling. I really don't know, but it had a weird taste to it, and the texture was just totally inedible. So I tossed the noodles. I had egg noodles in the pantry. I cooked them up, made the stroganoff, and it was fine. It was fine. But I'm not a repeat customer on this product. I could see maybe trying the salmon or the chicken, but as Maribel and I were just talking about, she was on the podcast, or she was on the live stream last week talking about queso. That basically the trays that they serve that are, you know, maybe a piece of salmon, a portion of vegetables, and a portion of grain that you then bake in the oven for $6 or $7, that feels like both a tastier meal, a healthier meal, and a better value. Even though it's roughly the same cost, 2 servings for $16 and a, you know, $8 portion of salmon. But, you know, this, you are actually having to do cooking. With that tray meal that you're cooking in the oven, you're not doing any active cooking. And so that feels like it might be the sweet spot. I think that the flavor, the recipes that they've developed for this meal kit line, it's like Szechuan chicken. Let me see if I can find all of them. It's a couple different types of salmon kit. One of the appealing factors of Blue Apron, HelloFresh, Plated, Purple Carrot, you name it, all of the many meal kit services that are out there. Oh, the chicken marsala, that was one of them. Hey, Kristen, you like the chicken marsala. Did it have a cooked grain with it? I would love to know if like the rice or the pasta that came with that was already cooked. But that, you know, the Blue Aprons of the world are coming up with really not challenging recipes, but interesting recipes. And those recipes are keeping the customers engaged, because every week, even if you don't get a box every week, there are just dozens of recipes that they can choose from. And customers actually also get to choose, you know, you get to pick which meals you're going to get in your box. And I made a purple carrot meal kit earlier this year, and it was amazing because it was like a sweet potato bun, like the little bao buns, the little sweet Asian buns. The magic of capitalism. I feel like I tell myself that once a day, Noe. But basically, I really liked making these sweet potato. It was like little sweet potato tempura slices. It took a lot of labor. It was definitely work, but for me, at the level of cooking that I'm at, it made me very happy. Okay, so Kristen, were the mashed potatoes already? I guess you just heated the mashed potatoes up. Well, I'll need to try out another kit. And, you know, I also wrote in this blog post earlier today about a veggie toss kit that HEB is making. They have packaged vegetables that come with a little thing of sauce in it, and I tried the sweet potato noodles with the Alfredo sauce. I just didn't like how it tasted, which is probably a me issue and not a product flaw. But if you guys have tried those veggie toss kits, I'd love to hear. They make like a cauliflower rice one and a couple of other ones. So, okay. Oh, I did have 2 other things to tell you about. Yesterday, ooh, you liked those? Somebody else is telling me that they liked the small ones that you put into the oven. Okay, so I've had a really fun week. Yesterday I got to go to the Ramen Expo. I did a live stream from that, which you can find. I'm getting ready to post it on the blog, but you can find it on the Austin 360 channel. And so the Ramen Expo, people from all around the world are coming to Austin this week for the Ramen Expo. It ended yesterday. I got to meet all kinds of really great business owners. A lot of them were from Japan. They're the people who, you know, make the noodles, make the broth, make all the toppings. If you go to a ramen restaurant in the U.S., it's likely that some of the products that restaurant buys are, you know, they're coming from Japan. It's just all the different seasonings and the dumplings and blah, 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 blah. There's just a lot that goes into a ramen restaurant that would require an expo. And so I got to go to the expo, and I picked up these cool chopsticks. I don't know if you could see them. I'm trying to show you. They've got this little edge on them, and the woman who was telling me all about them was so sweet. And they actually make two varieties. There's this one, and then there's one that has like they call it a tornado that wraps all around it, and the idea is that so your noodles don't fall off. So helpful, but they're not for sale. So keep your eye out for these though, because I think that they'll eventually be on Amazon. And so, you know, if you're looking for chopsticks, and if you don't like chopsticks because the food falls off, try to find ones that have some sort of texture on the bottom. That's the takeaway there. I did have a product that I want to tell you about that I loved recently. This is a tzatziki sauce from Cedars, cucumber, garlic, dill, made with Greek yogurt. So there have been several savory Greek yogurts that we have tried on this little live stream. There was a French onion dip. Basically, Greek yogurt is a really great alternative to sour cream when it comes to these kinds of dips. I think it has a slightly lower fat content. I mean, this has 2 grams of fat in 2 tablespoons, which is actually a pretty low fat dip. Calories are 30 calories. So, you know, this is considered to be more healthful than a sour cream based dip. And it's just really good. It's got little chunks of cucumber in it and dill and just super fresh. I'm just really into tzatziki right now, and this Cedars brand is A+. So look for it in the grocery store. Laura made a really good point that HEB is still doing stuff for your everyday fix for the family. I think you're totally right. I certainly think that all these different meal kits of different varieties serve different customers, and you know, people are going to buy these meal kits from HEB, and it's going to be great. But I mean, to be honest, I think my only takeaway here is that I think HEB needs to put cooked or dried noodles in that packet specifically. I think it's not that hard to cook pasta. Maybe it is hard to cook pasta and people want that shortcut, but you got to find a different cooked noodle because that just wasn't working by the Cedars brand. I think that my boyfriend got that at HEB actually. Then I think it was the one over on East 7th Street. So I had never seen this Cedars brand yet either, JR. So HEB, I think that's where they sell it. I think that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for joining me. Let me know if you have any questions. Have fun at ACL this weekend, and I'll be back next week. I've been meaning to make it over to Boggy Creek and Springdale Farm for some of their farm stands. Maybe I'll live stream from there next week. Anyway, hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Take care. Oh, hey, thanks to Alexis of Austin for sponsoring the podcast and the live streams. You guys are really supportive of these new multimedia projects we're doing, and we really appreciate it. Thanks so much.